In this video, I'm going to quickly cover something in the Rise of Skywalker novel that changes what most of us had previously thought about a particular scene in Return of the Jedi. Maybe some of you guys have already heard about this, maybe you haven't. But anyways, here's my take. And obviously if you haven't read the book yet and you are planning to, there are going to be spoilers ahead. So basically in the novel, when Palpatine is trying to turn Rey to the dark side, he explains to her that when Luke attempted to strike him down on the Death Star and Vader stopped his son from killing him, he was not actually doing it to protect his master, but rather to save Luke from the dark side in that moment. The exact quote from the book goes like this. As if reading her thoughts about Luke, the Emperor said, "I've made this very proposal before, but on that unfortunate day, Luke Skywalker had his father to save him. You do not." And this is referencing Rey as she thinks about how Luke had warned her about Palpatine's deception before she went to Exegol to confront him. There is the possibility that he was just referring to Vader saving Luke later on when he threw the Emperor down the ventilation shaft of the Death Star, but I don't really think so because he literally says he has made this proposal before when asking Rey to strike him down with all of her hate to complete her turn to the dark side. It had previously been assumed by pretty much everyone that Vader stopped Luke in that moment because he was protecting the Emperor, and that makes sense considering the way Palpatine didn't even blink as Skywalker attacked him. It seems pretty obvious when you're watching that scene play out that Palpatine was well aware that Vader would protect him, but now we find out that's not the case. And that does come across as a pretty weird concept, since Vader's whole thing throughout the original trilogy was to get Luke to join him and reign over the galaxy together. So we don't really know for sure why the Emperor was going to let Luke kill him, but it's pretty likely that it was for the same reason he wanted Rey to strike him down. Even in Return of the Jedi, he was growing very old and would have been searching for a suitor who he could turn to the dark side and then transfer his essence into like he was going to do with Rey. Maybe that would have worked out, maybe it wouldn't have, I don't really know. But either way, the Sith had finally gotten what they wanted, so it seems kinda weird that Vader would stop it, right? Well, here's the logic behind that from Vader's point of view. It is the way of the Sith for the apprentice to eventually kill the master and assume the throne. That's how they live on. So if Luke was to strike the Emperor down here, then Vader could not become the master. Not only because Luke would have been the one to kill Palpatine, but because in theory, Palpatine would still be alive through Luke. So Vader needed to eliminate Palpatine in a different way, and again, we don't really know how all of this essence transfer stuff works, but obviously when Vader threw Darth Sidious down the ventilation shaft, none of that happened. But I just wanted to share that with you guys because I found it to be really interesting. And while it can sometimes be controversial for Disney to change things from the original movies, I actually kind of like this concept. The idea that Vader actually saved his son from the Emperor twice is pretty cool, and it really makes you question when exactly was Anakin Skywalker reawakened within him? And when did he decide he wasn't going to let Luke die? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe for future Star Wars content, and may the Force be with you always.